I teach at a fairly famous communication school, famous because it has a lot of great alumni. And that creates a lot of opportunities. One of the alumni was a president of Sony Pictures Digital, and he actually came to a graduate class I teach, asking us to validate a market sector. And we phrase that within our research group as a research question around personas. So the question, if Sony builds with their theater partners a social service, social plus movie, will people come? Okay? And the initial method they asked us to use was focus groups. Focus groups are quite acceptable to, let's say, the MBA crowd. Right? And they generate the kind of data that executives find palatable. Okay? Did not go as planned. We never got past this first two sentences. Right? Something happened. Right? And we actually found historical precedent for it in the literature. This sort of murderous rage welled out of people, right? Their inner Kraken was released. In a focus group, it's interesting to see sort of tentacles growing out. See, that was funny, okay? People don't want anything bothering their movie, all right? So, back to the metaphor, that's gonna change, I promise. This was a setback, okay? So, start over. You do a lit review. You ask yourself, what in the literature tells us what we can do to create personas, to validate these personas, okay? Again, in the lit review, one research finding stood out. Now, I was told to translate these into British English, so did my best. Okay, now this is actually a mathematical trick. These researchers from Microsoft Research, they're saying if a persona is made up of items 1, 2, 3, and 4, and each of those has a probability less than 1 of happening, you multiply the, you know this, right? So it's an infinitesimal probability that a persona is dead on. But this method, Q methodology, can address that. Now, I happen to be on the faculty with a leading Q method researcher, right? So I'm gonna take you through how we got around all the privacy issues, right? Q measures holistic attitudes, right? It was developed by William Stevenson, 2 PhDs, right? Not a slacker. Now his advisor was Spearman, Charles Spearman, who did the Spearman correlation. I know, you know all about that. Okay. Okay. What we do is we take attitudes and we can hold them in relation to each other. That's a font problem, okay? Where we capture these attitudes, all right? We write them on pieces of paper, and we ask people to sort them, take their own personal point of view, and put these statements of opinion in relation. So number 2 there, that was a speculative statement brought on by one of my grad assistants. He said, we're designing a service that doesn't exist. What you do is you have people sort them according to a condition of instruction. So they start out just generally. This statement, yeah, I agree with that. This one, no, that's wrong. If they're ambivalent, they stick it in the middle pile. Right? First pass. Then you ask them to go back through that and refine it. Go back to that pile that you generally agree with, and find those 2 that you really strongly feel about. Same thing on the negative. You end up with, in our case, in our method, these 9 columns, ranging from -4 to +4, 0 in the middle. What that does is takes opinion, subjective statements, and it lets people pass it through their personal filter and hold it. Now you take those and you plot them as data points. Factor analysis in 20 seconds. I'm so not gonna do that, okay? Let's talk, I'm gonna ignore this. Imagine you all are data points, all right? And I'm gonna plot you. I can do transformations, like people are in a row. I can mathematically straighten the row, and I won't change the relationship. I begin to see patterns, okay? Most important thing I want you to get, the factors that emerge. Factor analysis is a standard technique. The factors are the personas. We don't bring an a priori position that the people will be thinking this, we generally think. We allow the statements to generate the personas. No vested interest in this. MBAs want math. So, is this chance? Is this random? Take those 38 statements, you just sort of sneeze them into a pile, right? If you did it enough times, would you find pattern? Okay, the answer is no. I'm gonna take you through this, okay? How big is, there are 38 statements, so there's 38 factorial ways to arrange it. How big is that number? It's an unspeakable number. I literally don't know how to say this. Okay, it's like 523,000 bajillion, okay? But wait, no, 9 columns, so you want to divide that by 9 factorial, right? Now it's like 14 bajillion. Okay, so already, any pattern that emerges is not likely due to chance. Divide that by 7 billion, population of the Earth. Now we have a manageable number, okay? Seriously, I changed it to like Helvetica, okay? You need that many planet Earths to replicate these patterns, these factors, just through random processes. Out of all those possibilities, 3 factors. The vast majority, right? People, probably you, if you could watch a movie in a sensory deprivation tank, you would, okay? Absolute pitch black silence. Men who like to trash talk, think Germany, England last night, okay? And then the target demographic, women. We did this. June 2012, this year Disney releases this. Whatever method they used, they found the same persona, the same target market that we did. I did it with a group of 12 graduate students and 5 focus groups that ended up being Q sorts, okay? Like any other good design, once you have the persona, the set of services on the platform proceed from that, all right? It's cheap. The software tools that do it are free or extremely low cost. You don't need very large sample sizes to get statistically valid, very strong results, okay? I didn't do the big numbers, Wolf and Alfred did. Those are links to the software. There's an entire community of scholars who are looking to support people doing Q methodology research. That's all I got. Thank you.